Are you ready for the fair? The fair vibrates faster than the larger world. A mosaic of skill, competition, curiosity, noise, color, and excitement. But you must qualify. You must have a feeling for it to capture the wonder of it. You've got to be a kid to know the glory of it. For in this moving world, there are no years, just hearts. So brother, put some coins in your pocket. Sister, don your slacks. Bring your sense of wonder. Get a little sawdust in your shoes. There's something for everyone. Come on, kids, whatever your age. We're going to the fair.
The fair is a pulsating city of 100,000 people. Half educational fair and half carnival, it provides for all who pass. The hurt, the lost. Fire and other emergency facilities are in reserve. Preparation for each fair requires a full year, but the giant village, like a 100,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, assembles itself in a frenzied 2 weeks before opening day. For North Carolina, it began in 1853. The State Agricultural Society resolved to sponsor a cattle show and an exhibition of domestic manufacturers. The project was highly successful. Gate fees were 25 cents, $1 was charged for a carriage, and 50 cents for a buggy. Receipts were $3,000, between 4,000 and 6,000 attended. Nearly every section of the state and every industrial pursuit within its borders were represented at fair after fair. By 1895, the Agricultural Society's show and exhibition had become the main annual event among rural Tar Heels. The history of the fair is generously sprinkled with the glamorous, the famous, and the strange. Teddy Roosevelt spoke to fairgoers in 1905, and later Harry Truman in 1948. The celebrated Carolina twins, Millie Christine, were a major attraction at the first fair. Siamese twins Ing and Chang Bunker were favorites at the fair. Also world travelers, they made their home in North Carolina. In 1937, a farm boy by the name of Carr Scott ran for Commissioner of Agriculture, advocating state operation of a state fair. Scott won and named colorful Doc Dorton manager. In Doc's opinion, the secret of good education was to mix it up with entertainment and spike it with friendly competition. In 1948, Doc booked the James E. Strait shows, and Bascom Lamar Lunsford brought the first folk festival. It worked. Receipts shot upward and premiums offered were increased. In April of 1949, now governor, Carr Scott again wrote upon the history of the fair. The legislature voted to make the Raleigh Fairgrounds into a permanent state exhibition of arts, industry, agriculture, and wildlife. Doc Dorton and his staff came tearing out of the woods to build North Carolina's fair. Doc roared away as Grand Duke of Fairmakers until his death in 1961. In 1965, Arthur K. Pitzer was named manager, and under his direction, the fair continued to grow and is now considered one of the top 10 in existence. Carolina State Fair has been powered by fervor for land conservation and a wholehearted love of outdoor show business. It catches thousands in a whirl of enthusiasm, gently spinning them into a single strand of influence to draw the state along the way of agricultural progress. Each new year lending individuality and fascination for the young at heart. Organizing the fair is as intricate as making a watch. Exhibits are divided into 30 departments and include everything from quilt making to bricklaying. Many contestants have been entering the competition longer than they can remember. Others are newcomers. $95,000 is offered in premiums. All entries must be carefully recorded, judges' verdicts entered on scorecards, premium checks made out and handed to the winners as soon as the judging is over. Much of the premium money provides a good time for winners right at the fair. Space must be provided for many demonstrations given throughout the fair and for the mass of educational and informational materials distributed. Ducks are special at the fair. Not just any ducks, but high-toned thoroughbred ducks a farmer or anyone can admire. The Market Steer Show carries more than weight at the fair. Top steers are determined by a nationally recognized judge. It's also a good place to meet old friends, even if they're wearing a different hat. Some of the midway rides are steeped in history, but most have their origin as pure entertainment. They're ridden just for fun. The great pleasure wheels of steel enthrall and provide a unique thrill for the daring or the brave. They help fulfill a basic and allowed human need for amusement. The village of yesteryear, begun at the fair in 1951, reflects the heritage of North Carolina, its people and their crafts once essential for life. About 80 craftsmen, some in native costume, carve, weave, and braid, offering their wares for sale. The village keeps the significance of our age-old arts and crafts alive for today's fairgoers. Competition for offered premiums is high here. The charm of the crafts of yesteryear is difficult to equal, except perhaps by the rhythmic tattoo of the village smithy, who stands nearby, and fascination is complete. How's the best way to show Tar Heels the wildlife that inhabits North Carolina's woods and waters? Well, short of going out into the fields and forests, one way is to bring wildlife to the people. Our great state fair is the place for just that. The Wildlife Resources Commission has created an animal compound which has many steel animal display pens, plus 2 fenced enclosures for deer and turkey. Raccoons, foxes, waterfowl, black bear, and others are there for folks to see. Many of our freshwater fishes are on display in 300-gallon aquariums. The animals are well cared for, and their display pens are cleaned thoroughly each day. Feeding with foods they like best is done later, each evening, so that the animals can eat in peace after the crowds leave. Although the animals are wild, many of them come from animal displays over the state and are accustomed to confinement before they arrive at the fair. The display is designed to show examples of our wildlife and to remind folks what we all have to enjoy in our state and what we must manage and use wisely. Walking the Midway is part of the fair for most, but no matter how young the heart or willing the spirit, the feet get weary, and rest is where you find it. Anyone harboring a secret desire to pet and feed baby animals will find gratification at the fair. Menageries of tame baby exotic animals from each corner of the earth and baby domestic and farm animals are featured. The fair is one great interlocking process. Everything fits together in its time and place. Free is an important word to those who plan the fair, as well as to fairgoers. In 1971, for the first time in fair history, there were more than 20 major free attractions for everyone, and arena shows were attractively priced. Bigger and better describes today's fair. Senior citizens who have achieved the 60-year mark cash in at the fair. A special fun festival is designed just for golden agers.
Chicken, hamburgers, hot dogs, peanuts, popcorn, and Cracker Jack. Country ham, this is the place you've heard about. This is the place that got the finest food on the Midway. Best prices and the finest food. Come and get it. This is the one you've heard about. This is it. This is it. Come and get it. We're here. You're in it.
Careful planning maintains the delicate balance between education and entertainment. Booths selling novelties, cotton candy, and rides are strategically placed to tempt and delight fairgoers on their routes to see everything there is to see. Getting involved is the goal of North Carolinians as they prepare topical exhibits for the fair. Greater display space permits larger exhibition by works of adults, students, amateurs, and professionals. Modern layouts and careful lighting help create attractive presentations for exhibitors, whatever their categories. While the romantic day at the fair retains the sentiment, actually it's difficult to adequately cover everything in one day. Every day has its highlights, and many confirmed fairgoers seek to miss nothing, and each season captures new enthusiasts. As evening steals across the Midway, it lends another mood. More and more come to borrow their share of thrills. Towers leap into columns of pastel radiance. Pillars of steel by day become pillars of electric fire by night. The canvas city blossoms. The whys of fairs and carnivals, the people who make them and the people who enjoy them have been wondered through the centuries. Perhaps the explanation is that many things are mirrored in the magic of the Midway, and everything falls under its spell. The fair is a sprawling giant with 1 foot deep in the earth and the other on Broadway, whence come much of the talent for the grandstand and stage shows. Some of Hollywood's greatest charmed Tar Heels in the grandstand and in the Dorton Arena.
Kidding.
On behalf of the North Carolina Athletics and North Carolina Buffalo, and which case you come here, you have to open our great North Carolina State Fair at 1 and 4, wouldn't you look like you need a good outfit? Reminding you that North Carolina is known for lots of miles, number one tobacco and other things, but we're especially going out of state. We're going to ship through these wonderful delicious apples, Farmers Market and North Carolina Athletics, and hope you enjoy them.
How many of these orchards do you own?
Backstage often provides as much excitement as the show. Another Governor Scott is no stranger to the fair. And the fair ever remains a haven for politicians and showmen. The pace of the Midway increases with the hours. The faster tempo bolsters courage, and speed grows irresistible. Rides are much safer than they look. Buckles and belts secure the riders, and once you're in for the duration. For anyone who works the fair, fortitude is his obvious virtue. But faith, hope, and charity are there too. When man first began to till the soil, farmers brought produce to the center of exchange at regular times. Harvests were celebrated by fairs. Thither came the jugglers, the knife throwers, the trainers of dancing bears, sellers of charms, vendors of cooked meats, pastry, and wine. All of these things live again in our very modern foot-long hot dog. There are many theories concerning the origin of fair rides. One school holds that our ancestors delighted in swinging from tree to tree. The other, that early man watched a family of otters at play, sliding and bumping about. However, it may be that the delights of swinging and bumping are discoveries all children make for themselves. Watching your child at the fair is its own special thrill, and you can almost always participate. But one secret every parent should learn. When your child rides the merry-go-round, never, never wave to him. Stand there so he can wave to you and feel secure, but you must never wave. At this golden moment, as the organ blares and the horse leaps beneath him, he has left you for a more colorful locale. What is a fair? The smell of cotton candy, the cry of the carnies, the music of the merry-go-round. All the sights, sounds, and sensations wrapped up in the midway and more. To Tar Heels, it's contests and blue ribbons that prove championship. It's blood-curdling banners and prizes. It's the realization that each man must walk down his own road and that we must let him. From the ticket gate to the kaleidoscope of fireworks, the fair is a super neon-lit market of skill, craftsmanship, and knowledge. The fair is a never-ending variety of exhibits, food, rides, grandstand attractions, and sideshows. It's the suspense of skids, stunt drivers, and dizzying rides. It's clowns, aerialists, puppets, and jugglers. It's the joy of a giant stuffed toy. It's that special magic of good education spiked with entertainment.
Yes, faster than the larger world, a mosaic of skill, competition, curiosity, noise, color, and excitement. History is written in great fairs, and each fair lingers, an echo in the ether of time, each unique, each to return again and again in the hearts and minds of those who love that fair, and in their telling of it. But to share it, to have a feeling for it, you must be of the young, a kid for a day at the fair, whatever your age.